Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a very specific, highly dynamic snapshot in time, July 7th, 2026. You know, if you've been following the artificial intelligence space, we've been hovering on the edge of a massive transition for a while now. But the data we are looking at today, it marks the definitive moment AI shifted gears. We're moving away from AI just being this passive tool, sitting there waiting for our prompts. We are fully entering the era of active, autonomous agents operating across global sectors. This is what we call the Agentic shift, and it is completely redefining geopolitics, financial markets, software engineering, and beyond.
Okay, let's look at the roadmap for today. We're tracking this agentic shift across 5 main pillars. 1. Autonomous AI ransomware uncovered. 2. Apple's Siri AI evolution. 3. Accelerating the superconductor hunt. 4. Enterprise AI goes mainstream. And finally, 5. The global regulatory response. Let's get right into it.
We're starting right at the sharp end of the spear with Section 1, Autonomous AI Ransomware Uncovered.
So, cybersecurity researchers at SysTig just published this groundbreaking analysis of a threat actor known as Jade Puffer. What they've uncovered is literally being recognized as the first documented end-to-end autonomous AI ransomware attack. It brilliantly, and kind of terrifyingly, illustrates the new threat lifecycle we're dealing with now. Look at the very first step. The human operator's role is essentially reduced to just picking the target and setting up the initial infrastructure. They merely point the weapon. From there, the LLM-driven agent autonomously handles the whole shebang. It independently executes over 600 distinct payloads. It successfully navigates lateral movement through the network, and it actually hunts down multi-platform credentials. It stole API keys for OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepSeek, and Gemini directly from the victim's environment before systematically encrypting all their databases.
But there is one staggering metric we really need to pause on here: 31 seconds. During the attack, the AI hit a wall, a broken login path. In the past, this would trigger an alert, and a human hacker would have to manually figure out a workaround, which obviously takes time. Well, this AI agent diagnosed its own coding error and completely rewrote its approach in just 31 seconds, entirely without human intervention. Think about that. That real-time self-correction is a massive paradigm shift in how fast networks can actually be compromised.
Moving from the shadows of cybersecurity to the devices right in our pockets, we arrive at Section 2. Apple's Siri AI evolution. Following up on their earlier previews, Apple has announced a massive expansion to its ecosystem through the next generation of Apple Intelligence, rolling out across iOS 27, macOS 27, and visionOS 27. Siri AI is evolving way past simple voice commands, like setting a timer or checking the weather. This newly upgraded agent can now actually interpret your live on-screen context. It can execute complex actions across totally different apps on your behalf, understand deep personal context by autonomously synthesizing info from your emails and messages, and it can even pull live web data to seamlessly execute a task without you ever needing to open a browser. It is a fully autonomous agent living natively on your consumer hardware.
Now, the absolutely crucial point for developers and the enterprise crowd is this back-end architecture. Apple calls it private cloud compute. To actually make it all those autonomous cross-app interactions work securely for business use, Apple is implementing this comprehensive enterprise layer. It's powered by Spotlight semantic indexing, meaning it actually understands the deep context and relationships of your files, not just looking up file names, along with app intents. This allows developers to securely scale these agentic workflows right into their own applications. It's a massive unlock for the entire Apple ecosystem, essentially turning every single device into a proactive digital assistant.
Let's pivot over to material sciences. Section 3. Accelerating the superconductor hunt. This is where we see how this technology builds entirely new possibilities for humanity, and it's truly fascinating. We are looking at a huge breakthrough from an international consortium led by Aalto University. If you compare the traditional material science timeline on the left, which usually involves endless manual chemical trial and error, with the new timeline on the right, the difference is just staggering. By pairing machine learning with quantum physics, researchers used AI to rapidly sort through near infinite combinations of chemical elements. The result? They've successfully discovered 2 new superconductors, YUR3b2 and LU-UR3b2. Now, why does this matter to you? Well, a practical room-temperature superconductor means things like a completely lossless power grid, radically cheaper energy, or ultra-fast levitating trains. This AI acceleration has drastically compressed the timeline needed to make that science fiction a reality. This is exactly what happens when an autonomous system does the heavy lifting of theoretical modeling.
Of course, this incredible acceleration isn't just happening in academic labs. Massive corporations are rolling out these autonomous systems at an unprecedented scale today. Let's explore Section 4, Enterprise AI Goes Mainstream.
Just take a look at this stunning revelation of efficiency from HP. They recently ran some highly successful internal pilots using OpenAI's Frontier platform. And get this, their engineers were able to resolve software vulnerabilities in a single day. That's a complex debugging process that was previously estimated to take an entire month. Because of this massive drop in resolution time, HP just announced they are going all in. They are launching an enterprise-wide deployment of OpenAI's Frontier across their global customer-facing systems, their employee tools, and their device telemetry. It's a complete shift in how corporate IT actually functions.
But HP isn't the only one making huge moves. We're actually seeing two very distinct enterprise strategies unfold side by side here. While HP is looking inward to optimize its own global systems, Google Cloud and Accenture have just partnered up to push these solutions outward. They are launching a suite of pre-built, industry-specific agentic AI solutions targeting the mid-market. Powered by Gemini Enterprise and Google's Agentic Data Cloud, this initiative is designed to help mid-market companies skip the speculative pilot phase entirely and get these autonomous agents running in full back-end production right away. It's making top-tier enterprise AI accessible to everyone.
So with AI acting autonomously in our networks, in our phones, in our material science labs, and throughout enterprise backends, we have to examine how governments are reacting. This brings us to our final section, the global regulatory response. First, let's look at the financial sector. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority recently published a landmark regulatory review called the Mills Review. Their most pressing finding is a major wake-up call. 26% of adults already trust general-purpose AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini for complex financial advice, over a quarter of adults. Because AI autonomy is now directly reaching people's personal wallets and retirement funds, the FCA is proposing an AI-enabled agentic supervisory model. They are vastly expanding their AI lab to handle the inevitable, rapid rise of fully autonomous financial platforms.
Globally, we're seeing an incredibly diverse policy shift unfold. Starting at the top, the Japanese government has launched an AI-linked Reform Promotion Council. Their main objective is to drastically rewrite legal frameworks to accelerate AI adoption in medical care, transportation, and admin services, to specifically counteract their severe population decline. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., with federal regulations largely frozen, individual states are taking action. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker just signed the Artificial Intelligence Safety Measures Act, establishing strict state-level guardrails modeled after New York and California. And crucially, looking at the defense sector, the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee just advanced its draft of the FY 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. This framework systematically adds strict rules requiring military AI and autonomous lethal weapons to maintain appropriate levels of human judgment.
And honestly, that military framework brings us to a perfect close for today's explainer. Across everything we've looked at today, from self-correcting ransomware and autonomous Apple ecosystems to massive scientific breakthroughs and enterprise scaling, these systems are doing more of the thinking and acting entirely on their own. Looking at that requirement to keep human judgment in the loop for autonomous systems, we are left with this critical question to ponder. As AI takes the wheel across all these sectors, can we truly maintain ultimate human responsibility? It's a fascinating challenge, and understanding this source material is the first step in navigating our new agentic reality. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.